Howdy folks, this is BelGeode, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator, and this is a test, otherwise known as one of my chill vids. Alright, so we're back in Bora Bora. Yay! We had a lot of fun with the Dornier. Apologies for how long it took me to actually figure out that my fuel valves were off, but since that time I've gotten a little bit more proficient with it, but we will not be showing it off today. I might do like an unscheduled video where I do some vertical shenanigans with the Dornier DO31. However, that is not the focus of this video. This bird, however, is. No doubt you probably recognize this one. This is, of course, Cowansim's Bell 222. In particular, the UT model, the Uniform Tango model. We can tell it's the UT model because it's got skids instead of the wheels that we're most commonly used to seeing, which would be on the 222 Bravo model. But yeah, this one's a beauty. No doubt you probably recognize the livery that I am rocking. This is the helisimmer.com livery, which is default for this particular helicopter. So huge shout out to Sergio from helisimmer.com. Yay, you get free advertising. How about them apples? You're welcome. So once again, Cowan has done it. It is definitely one of the coolest birds in the Cowansim hangar. However, it does have its slight issues, and I'm just going to mention that real quick. There is no in-sim checklist as of the time of this recording. I say it that way because I'm really leaning on Cowan to see if he can get that done. However, Cowan's a very busy man, and he's got a bunch of stuff cooking, so he may not have time to get to it immediately. Try not to crucify the guy. There is a PDF checklist in the actual download itself that you can find and open up. Since I'm in VR, however, as I am always in VR, that's not an option for me. So I've got to rely on my wonky memory. The older I get, the worse it gets. Whew. Alright, but either way, we're going to do a little tour of Bora Bora, and the reason why we are going to do that is because obviously I didn't get the chance to really show the place off much when I was in the DO31. So, a helicopter is just the thing we need to actually take a closer look at this scenery by Clifford. And it's actually called the Bora Bora Improvement. I don't remember if it's Improvement Pack or Improvement Scenery. I'll have it pop up below as usual. But yeah, so we're at Motu Mote Airport, November Tango Tango Bravo. That's the main airport for the Bora Bora region. And we've also got several helipads. We're going to try to land on some of them, but not all of them. I have an actual list of the various resorts that we're going to visit, and a lot of them are kind of sort of similar, but we can see some of the differences within the different places. But first things first, let me check Cowan's external static camera views and make sure they're all okay. So we'll get out a drone cam and into the first external static camera. Behind the bird. Perfect. Nothing further needs to be said about it. It's absolutely perfect. Next view. Hey, the BelGeode landing cam. And look, I'm right above the ground, which is exactly where I want to be. A lot of people ask why this camera. Well, think about it. If you're flying and you want to really test your mettle, sometimes you need to take a little sneak peek. This is what this camera is for. You switch it to this camera and you check to make sure that you're, actually where you should be, especially if you're trying to land on very small helipads. It comes in handy. It does have its limitations though, especially if you're trying to land on a hill or something along those lines. It might not work out great for you. But it is my standard, and I definitely recommend that people use it if you feel you have the need. If not, you can always use it as a sightseeing camera. So you put it to this view, and especially if you're in VR, you can just like move your head around and check out the scenery below you. That's why I came up with this. That question gets asked to Cowan a lot, so I figured I'd address it here since actually I'm the guy behind that. Alright, third view. Standard. It's on the starboard side. Pretty much what we expect, so we can also use this as a sightseeing camera. And fourth view, port side. Again, pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing weird about it. There's no gotchas. You can check out the beautiful livery that Cowan has developed, as well as the modeling and the texturing and all of that good jazz. And there we go. So we're going to put it back to this camera here. And we're going to hop inside the bird and see if I remember how to get her started. Yeah, that's going to be the bulk of this video right here. I'm just going to tell you that from now. Okay, so welcome to the office. I will remind you, I have no checklist. None whatsoever. So, yeah, let me just look over everything really quick. And then, of course, you can look over everything really quick, too, so you have an idea of where everything is. Most of your buttons are going to be, like, right here. All the fuses are up there. I believe the fuses work. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, I got a finger there, so I would assume it works. No, it's not allowing me to push it, but I'm going to make sure that it's in. All right, we can, of course, lock the door. As usual, you can add passengers and co-pilots and all of that good jazz. We're going to forego all of that stuff this time. I'm going to go with we don't need it today. It's just me flying around. All right, this guy right here, I want to call attention to it because it's extremely important and it is something that I often forget. This is the rotor brake. Make sure you disengage your rotor brake. Right now, the rotor brake is engaged. And there is currently an issue with the 222, both of them, where if you have a control set for rotor brake, it doesn't do anything. So you got to manually click it. Make sure it looks like that before you attempt an engine start. I say that out of experience. When I did my test flight, I'm like, why won't the engine start? Well, dummy, you forgot your rotor brake. Oh, well, that would explain it. All right, so let's see if we can get her started up. First thing we're going to need is battery. So yeah, battery is on. You see everything comes to life there. We can do a caution and warning panel test. Everything lit up like a Christmas tree. Perfect, perfect. We'll let it go. All right, I'm liking this already. Garmin's are firing up, which should have our flight plans in there. Let's go ahead and get some lights on. I like to have the position lights on as well as the anti-collision lights on. Hydraulic system switches are both pressed, so we're good to go there. Pitot heater, we're probably not going to need it, even though we are currently using Active Sky FS, which is the latest Active Sky from Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't think it's giving us bad weather here in Bora Bora today. All right, let me go ahead and just get these pushed so that way they'll stop flashing at me here. Okay, we'll wait for that to do its thing. All right, on the co-pilot side, we have seatbelt lights, no smoking. We can also do a caution panel test light here. So there we go, that all looks good. The rest I don't believe we will necessarily need. However, these guys we will. So this is our fuel valve. I'm going to hit fuel prime here on engine 1. We're going to do the same thing for engine 2. I don't remember if I have to have the fuel prime on all the time or if I can just put it on for a few seconds and turn it off. We'll try it with it on. The worst thing that could happen is we flood the engine. And that is pretty bad if we flood the engine. Now, one thing about this helicopter is, unlike other helicopters, like some of Cowan's birds, this one actually has 2 throttles. If you have 2 axes that you can set the throttles, or even if you have a collective that happens to have 2 throttles, you can set the axes on this. So I've actually done it a little bit backwards. My second knob controls the first throttle. So you see we put it all the way up and then we pull it back down. Now, very important, you will notice that it does not go all the way back down. Why is that? Because there is an idle stop that you need to press. So if you click that off to the left here, now you can roll it to the off position and it'll eventually click itself back in the center. There we go. All right, same thing for throttle 2. So we can bump throttle 2 all the way up and we'll bump throttle 2 all the way back down. And of course it's going to stop at the idle stop. So we'll click on that. And there we go. There is a timer on this, so make sure that you click it and then quickly move the throttle to the idle position, and that'll help you. All right, I think we're just about ready for an engine start. Let me just look over all of my gauges here just to make sure everything looks kosher. Caution and warning light is on. We can use the engine start buttons here to start it up. You can also use the start assist, which honestly, it's a little bit easier. So since I am, well, me, I'm going to use that to get it started. All right, so everything looks to be in order. The inverters will go ahead and turn those on after the fact. But for right now, it looks like we're good for an engine start. So let's go ahead and get that done. So engine 1. So we click that to the left. We're waiting for this to come up. And let's go ahead and get the throttle to idle. Rotor's turning because I remembered the rotor brake this time. Yay me. And as soon as everything's in the green, I'll go ahead and get engine 2 started. Watch your temperatures. That's the second gauge there. Everything looks good to me. Okay, so engine 1 is up and running. Let's go ahead and get engine 2. Alright, you see the temperature spikes a little bit here. It'll come back down, so I hope. Go ahead and get throttle to idle. Nice and easy. Just the way I like it. We might not have all the weaponry that Airwolf has, but let me tell you, this thing is good to go. I love it, man. I love it. All right, so now we can get our inverters on and our generators. So let's go alternator on, and we'll get our inverters on as well too. Why not? Instrument and landing lights, that will turn on like the red glowy light above us here, and will also allow us to get our console lights on. So we'll light that up. Be just like the doors, lighting our fire. You know how it goes. Okay, so everything is good to go there. Nice, quick, easy start. I like it. This is definitely a change from some of the other helicopters that I have used. And it's got a little bit of that modern convenience thing going on with it, which I really appreciate. All right, now, what do we want to do with these GPSs? Since we've got 2, we could set this one just as it is, and then maybe zoom this guy in. I always forget which way is in. All right, right about there should do the trick. Okay, I feel good about that. I hope you do too. We'll get our landing lights on in a moment. Let's see, auxiliary fuel is set to auto, which is fine. And you know, I didn't even check my fuel, but I'm fairly certain that we've got about 50% gas. Yeah, just about. You can see it on the gauge right there. All right, so we're good to go. And let's go ahead and get the throttles up to full. So we'll slowly raise both knobs, which will of course raise both throttles. I've reached the middle detent, so we'll just leave it there as everything slowly but surely comes up. And then we'll bring everything else up. Right. Everything is up to where it should be. So we are at flight idle right now. Very good, very good. Really should have used the version with the wheels, so that way I could just like taxi on the ground to the runway. However, nah, I like this version better because then I don't have to worry about parking brakes or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. All right, so not too shabby. Let's take a quick look outside, make sure everything is good to go, and then we will request clearance to take off and get the heck out of here. Okay, looks like we're good to go, so we'll get the landing lights on. And we will contact tower or ground, either one, and tell them we are going to depart straight out.
Bora Bora ground, helicopter, November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo. Request taxi for takeoff straight out departure.
All right, Active Sky, what are you giving us today?
Helicopter November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo taxi to and hold short of runway 11 via taxiway.
11, okay.
Contact tower on 118.9 when ready.
Okay.
Taxi to and hold short runway 11 via taxiway helicopter Alpha Golf Bravo.
Sounds good to me. All right, so we'll close that out. We'll hit our barometric pressure. Yep, slight change. That works. That works. That's one of the things that I like about Active Sky is it can give you live weather. However, it doesn't seem to affect my performance in VR the same way that using the default Microsoft Flight Simulator live weather does. But with that being said, there are limitations for Active Sky, one of which being it only updates in intervals. So you have to tell it how often you want it to update. I have it set by default as 30-minute intervals. So about 30 minutes into the flight, it may change the weather conditions, and it's supposed to gradually change it over to the next METAR conditions. I'm not 100% convinced that it's actually doing that. But so far, I haven't had an issue. All right, so let's get light on the skids here and see which way she wants to go. Collective is coming up. I want to say she's going to want to yaw to the right. Yep, sure enough. Okay, let's make sure we don't hit the fuel truck while we're at it. This is a very tight spot here. Very tight. And of course, we can go to the BelGeode landing cam just to make sure that we're not hitting the ground. We're barely over it. And that, folks, is why we use the BelGeode landing cam. All right, request takeoff clearance VFR from Bora Bora Tower.
Bora Bora Tower, helicopter November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo. Ready for straight out departure at runway 11.
Which means we're going to be heading in that direction.
November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo 109er2 at 17. Straight out
17,
departure
wow.
approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 11.
Okay. Cleared for
Cleared
takeoff.
for takeoff runway 11 helicopter Alpha Golf Bravo.
All right, so one final check, make sure everything looks good. I'm going to push myself forward in the seat a little bit. I don't remember if these headsets actually work. Doesn't look like they do. I can't click on them. I do know that this little light here does work. It can move around, but yeah, we're not going to worry about the headset. Let me get our pitot heater on. I don't know if there's a co-pilot pitot heater. Yeah, pitot heater. There we go. All right, both of you are on, which is great. Again, I don't remember if the fuel prime should be on, but I'm assuming it probably should be, at least for takeoff, so we'll just leave it as it is. All right, folks, I hope you're ready, because I am. And let's see what Clifford has given us to play with here in Bora Bora. So a little bit of left pedal as the collective comes up. A little too much left pedal there. Don't forget you do have rotor trim that you can use for this here. So feel free to set your controls for rotor trim longitudinal and lateral. All Alright, let's get a bit more collective. I'm pitching the cyclic forward. I'm also going to add a little bit of forward trim so that way I can ease the pressure on the cyclic. Yeah, that windsock says we blowin', baby. Woo! Sometimes I find it a little easier to actually use just the rotor trims to pretty much control which way I'm going. And one of the things that I like to do when I fly helicopters is see which way she naturally wants to go. So right now I have a little bit of forward rotor trim there. And if I let go of the cyclic, you'll see we want to roll a little to the right. So I'm going to back off on that forward trim and add a little bit of left trim just to make sure she kind of straightens up. Don't forget that helicopters do have that translating tendency as well, so that's where one skid wants to lean down. That is normal. That is actually normal. All right, let's check our first stop here. Okay, I think I do have it written down, so let me just take up the headset really quick here. Four Seasons Resort, according to my list. Let's go to the outside view really quick here because I'm going to want to see if I can get a nice title shot. Okay, well, hopefully that'll be enough for a title shot. If not, I'll try one again a little bit later. But this is our first destination, so this is the Four Seasons Resort. We'll kind of circle around it here. I don't know exactly where the helipad is, so I'm not even going to attempt to land at this one. We will stop at the next one, which it looks like we've already got the leg set up for that. But let's see what we got here in Bora Bora. I want to say these are iconic structures. When you think Bora Bora and you think like the resorts, this is pretty much what you think of. These little bungalows that extend out into the water, and since it's on the inside portion of the atoll, it's probably going to be a lot calmer water than it would be if they were facing outwards into the ocean. So pretty cool stuff. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, let's go back to the BelGeode landing cam. I'm going to bring us down a bit, and we'll just kind of fly low and slow over everything. Okay, so this should be our second destination, which I believe is St. Regis. And there's our first helipad, so we're going to try and see if we can bring her down on that sucker right there. Alright, so first thing I want to do is do my rotor trim reset, which of course pushes the nose up a little bit here. So always compensate for that, lower your collective when you're going to hit that. Notice our airspeed dropping like a rock, so we want to make sure that we keep our vertical speed in check before we lose it. And look at that, we got dolphins. We got dolphins. That is so cool. Of course, I can't see them because the controls are in the way there. Or the console, I should say. Let me see if I can rotate around here. Maybe we should go back to the outside view to take a look at them. That is so cute. I love that. It's little stuff like that that really gets me every time. Especially on a beautiful morning such as today. Thank you so much, Active Sky. I'm pretty sure the default live weather probably would have given us the same thing, but I don't know. There's just something about Active Sky that always seems to give it that extra oomph for me. Maybe it's the fact that the waves actually look more natural based on the winds. And I think the winds have always been a big issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator default live weather. I don't know if that is still the case, because obviously Asobo's been making leaps and bounds to try and get everything, you know, more in sync, I guess you would say. But that being said, I've missed Active Sky. I really have. All right, let's bring her in. Nice. So there we go. Welcome to St. Regis. How about we go for a little walkabout? I'm going to put the collective fully idle and we'll go back to the drone cam and check out what we got. So as you can see, we got a nice little family here checking out the water. And we got a girl doing her levitation trick for her friend. That's always awesome. It's always fun when friends do magic tricks with you. We're gonna go with that. That's our story. Don't question it. Don't question it. I'm sure Clifford's like rolling his eyes. Hey, look, it's Shaniqua again. I'm pretty sure that's Shaniqua. Hold on. Let's get a little closer. Shaniqua, is that you? Oh, yeah, that is Shaniqua. Look at that. She's still on her cell phone. Hello, management. Yeah. Yeah, this place all right. This place all right. But what I got to do to get a mimosa around here? That's Shaniqua, ladies and gentlemen. That is Shaniqua. That's totally her name. I'm sticking to it. And again, apologies to anyone in the audience watching this video whose name happens to be Shaniqua. It's just a default name that I picked. Hey, there's Shaniqua's sister. We don't have a name for her because I'm going to offend more people if I come up with yet another name. We'll call her Michaela. Hey! I know I just completely went against my own thing there, but that's all right. We're enjoying the resort, much like these people are. And one of the things that I really like about what Clifford does is you get the hints of the interior. Maybe not the entire thing inside is modeled, but you can certainly see that there has been an effort made to make it look like it is someplace you could physically walk into. Don't try it though, because I believe these are considered physical or solid objects, so what will end up happening is you will end up on the roof. But again, if that's the worst thing that I can find to complain about, I would say Clifford is doing an amazing job. And I believe this is one of his earlier sceneries, if not his earliest scenery. So yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff. All right, back to the helichopper we go. Okay, so what is next on our agenda? Okay, it's having us go to the mainland. I believe that is going to be a little log cabin. Now, we may not land at the log cabin because I don't believe there is a helipad near it, but we'll kind of check it out. So once again, collective coming up, little bit of left pedal going in. We still have our landing lights on, but that is fine. I'm okay with that. And And we'll just turn ourselves around here. We'll do the hokey pokey. Let's see which way we need to head. Probably about another 80 or so degrees in this direction. Yeah, I want to say right about there. Okay, so let's do a quick sprint and we'll check out the yacht up ahead. Alright, so our log cabin is a bit more inland, so I'm going to give it some collective so that way we can get over the trees here. And I'm thinking most of this is just default Microsoft Flight Simulator ground textures, but as you can see, the mountains that Clifford is most famous for. Yeah, awesome stuff. I don't remember the name of that peak, but I'll have it pop up in the bottom right now, so that way you can know what that is. Alright, I think our log cabin is up ahead according to the GPS. This may be it, so let me see if I can get us into a hover at the very least. Yeah, see, our shadow just passed over it. That is the log cabin. So not much place to land here. We probably could land at that empty spot there. You see the brown empty spot in between those trees? But I'm not so sure I want to chance that, so we'll just check out the log cabin real quick. There you go, and we'll head back out. So our next stop is going to be due south. Alright, which way are we headed? We're probably heading due east. Yep. Okay, so we'll go around this hill here. Keep heading out. Now, I have not added any of the trims back in since I know that at our next stop we're probably going to want to land. So I'm doing a lot of cyclic work here just to point it in the direction that I would like. But yeah, this is awesome stuff. I absolutely love this kind of stuff. This is just great. It's a perfect reason to get a helicopter and to fly in VR. Oh look, there's an airstrip. Huh. Okay.
Bora Bora Tower helicopter, November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo frequency change.
You know, I just realized that we're probably not even squawking, so what I'll do is when I land, we will set that up real quick. We'll make sure we're on 7,000 and out. I dare not try it right now because, like I said, I don't have any of the trims in. But our next stop should be on the far side of this here. So once again, we'll go back to the outside view and we'll head over there. You see that small island way off in the distance there? I do believe that is our next stop. I think. Yeah, because we got to pass this little peninsula here. Okay, so this, I believe, is our next stop. Yep, looks like it is on this island, and that's going to be tight. Whew, okay, how are we going to pull this one off? We got a boat right at our helipad here. I am not 100% sure about this. We could land parallel to it, perhaps. Yeah, that's going to be tight. That's going to be real tight. I may want to go to the BelGeode landing cam for this. I know I really should stay in the cockpit, but don't crucify me. This is exactly why I created this camera. Well, I didn't create it, but adopted it. See, what I tell you, that is why the BelGeode landing cam exists. And look at that. Perfect. Plenty of clearance. There was no way we were going to take out their little boat there. Look at that sailboat over there. That's the other thing that I've noticed about this particular scenery, and actually all of Clifford's sceneries. He's got the moving traffic, the boat traffic in there, which is totally awesome. And obviously, you know, it recycles itself, like it's on a set path, but that is cool too, because that helps to save resources, as opposed to, you know, it being like actual AI that has, like, you know, set schedules, I should say, and it's got to pull from various AI and just give them random paths and whatnot. So yeah, this is cool. I like this. And these waves, man, these waves. All right, so once again, let's quickly go outside. We'll check out these little bungalows here, and then we'll hop back in and move on to our next stop. We should have 2 more stops before we get back to the airport. What else can I really say, folks? It feels like paradise. I love it. All right, so let's move on to our next stop. Hopefully we won't drift to the right here and take out this guy's boat. So, collective coming up. Getting ready with that left pedal there. Okay, looking good, looking good. Give it a lot more collective, and it looks like we need to now head west. So that should be off in this direction. Alright, so we'll go over this little peninsula here. If there is only one negative that I could say about this scenery is it does tend to drop my FPS a little bit. But then when you consider everything that is in this thing and consider the fact that I'm actually recording, which is already taxing on my computer to begin with, it kind of makes sense. If I were not recording, I'm not going to drop a lot of FPS, especially in VR. However, because I am, that changes everything. So what you're seeing in the video is not exactly an accurate representation of the performance that you're going to get. But with that having been said, yes, out of all of Clifford's sceneries, this one is most definitely the one that has hit my FPS the most. But again, it also depends on what you're flying. Alright, so this is our next stop. Let me just check to see what my list says. So the last place was Sofitel Private Island, or Private Beach. And this is Conrad Bora Bora Nui. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And good thing I didn't crash there, because I'm like, yeah, I need a notepad in VR. I really do. That would be helpful. I know there are apps out there that'll help to do that, but trying to juggle multiple apps while doing this and trying to record, yeah, that's a bit of a pain in the butt. All right, so I don't see a place to land, but that's okay. We're gonna go back to the BelGeode landing cam and check out this area. Nice, nice. So that's the Conrad Bora Bora Nui. And we have one more stop to go before we hit the airport. So far, I got to say, everything that Clifford has come out with has been a winner. We need more developers like him in this flight sim, because this is just some amazing work. It references what Asobo has done, and it actually enhances it, improves it. We need more stuff like that in the sim, especially when it comes to stuff that is tailor-made for rotor heads, helicopter lovers such as myself. And I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you might just be a rotor head yourself. But yeah, I would highly recommend that you pick up just like all of his sceneries. If it says Clifford on it, just buy it. Just, I know, I'm like not being paid by Clifford or anything like that. I'm just telling you, it's that good. Oh, the Temptation's great, but no, we're going to stay on schedule here because I don't want this to be too long of a video. I know my videos are notorious for being very long, but yeah, we're trying to stay focused here. I'm actually doing good for once. So far, I haven't been distracted by a squirrel. Ooh, squirrel. Some of you get that. Alright, so this is our last destination up ahead, and according to my notepad, it is Bora Bora Pearl Beach Resort. So we're going to check it out here. We are coming in a bit fast. And I don't see any helipads here either, so let's see what we can do. A little bit of stutter there, so I'm hoping that the video is still tracking. Have been having some issues with the latest AMD driver. Yeah, I don't see any helipads around here. Maybe I'm just missing it. Is that a helipad? No, that looks like a swimming pool. Okay, so I guess we're not landing at this one then, but that's fine because we're just about done. We just need to head back to the airport now. Speaking of which, I should probably contact ATC and tell them we're coming in. So let's do that real quick as we build up some airspeed. Alright, we want airport list, Motu Mote, and full stop landing, please.
Bora Bora Tower helicopter November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo Tree, miles southwest 500 feet to land.
Helicopter November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo Bora Bora Tower. Altimeter 29.90, wind 09er tree at 17. Make left downwind runway 29er.
Runway 29er, got it.
Make left traffic runway 29er helicopter Alpha Golf Bravo.
Okay, I can do this. So, where is our airport? I want to say it's somewhere on that island over there. Somewhat. It's not too far away, so we'll go ahead and get ourselves in that direction. Once again, I am not using the trims. I have everything set to what I would consider neutral trim, so there's no lateral or longitudinal rotor trim. I can always press trim reset again just to make sure, and I did. And yes, I still have to keep the same amount of pressure on the cyclic in order to keep her pointed the way that I would like. So there's our airport. That's Motu Mote, main airport in Bora Bora, and we're just going to nicely and easily bring ourselves in. Now, since this helicopter has skids and not wheels, I'm thinking we'll just kind of fly over the runway and then pretty much stop close to where we need to get off the runway. But we'll start at the end of the runway for our run. So that way the tower can give us clearance.
Golf Bravo, wind 09er tree at 17.
Much like they're doing now.
Clear to land runway 29er.
Cleared to land runway 29er helicopter Alpha Golf Bravo.
Okay, good deal. Let's get a little bit of left pedal in, not too much. I don't want to snap around here. So I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed my brief tour of Bora Bora here in the Cowansim Bell 222 UT. I think this is a match made in heaven. Like I said earlier, it feels like paradise. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to make that the title of this video. It feels like paradise. It's really cool stuff. It's great when you have a combination of an aircraft and a scenery that just come together, and then you have like active sky as the icing on the cake on top. As Todd Howard from Bethesda would say, it just works. Alright, windsock still says we blowing, but we're going the opposite direction now, so I'm not so sure about that. In any event, I'm lowering the nose just a touch here as we continue making our way towards the taxiway, which should be coming up pretty soon. So as we inch ever closer to June and Flight Sim Expo, I'm kind of curious to know in the comments how many of you all are actually going, or are you just basically tuning out when I say, hey, here's my link? because I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you. I can't guarantee that I will always be able to go to these things, but I'm definitely going to this one.
Alpha Golf Bravo exit runway when able.
Okay. A little bit of that slippy slide there, but okay. That's the only advantage to using the wheeled version, is we don't have to worry about skidding all over the place. And a little bit too much pedal there, but hopefully we'll be able to catch it. All right, there we go. And I'm actually going to stop us right past the hold short here, so that way the tower can be like, hey, switch to the ground frequency. Provided she wants to stop.
Helicopter Alpha Golf Bravo, contact ground on 118.9er.
Okay, we'll do.
Going to 118.9er helicopter Alpha Golf Bravo.
We're totally not going to 118.9er. But I do see our parking spot is open, so let's just bring this baby in. And there's also what appears to be a Robbie R22 over there, so I guess that's the next sightseeing flight that's going out. Got a Lear over there, or is that a CJ? Either way, it's a BizJet. And we'll just park this puppy right here. The Dornier is in the shop. We're going to go with that. The Dornier is in the shop. That's why we have this parking spot free, because I remember this is where we parked the Dornier in the last video. I really love that thing, by the way. It is just so weird and quirky. I've been flying it a lot recently. All right, but that is good enough for us. So thank you as always for watching. This has been BelGeode. I've been flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I will remind you, this helicopter has been the Cowansim Bell 222. This is the UT variant. We're going to bring everything down here with the throttles. Right there's good. And right there's good. And the scenery, of course, that we have been checking out has been from Clifford. This is his Bora Bora improvement. Awesome, awesome scenery. I absolutely love it. I will remind you one more time, Flight Sim Expo coming up in June 21st through 23rd. If you are going, use my link to get your tickets. Tickets are still available. And I will see you in Vegas. If you are not going, I will also remind you that I do plan on uploading videos while in Vegas. So you may see things like interviews with developers, or you may see just like a preview of what's going on the show floor, all the various booths, and so on and so forth. And we'll try to grab just the average Joe or the average Jane that's going to the convention, just to get their opinion on it. And especially if I happen to find people where it's your first time there and you'd really love to be on YouTube and become a star, well, now would be your time to shine. I will be more than happy to turn the camera on and get your thoughts on Flight Sim Expo. Other than that, folks, that's about all I brought today for show and tell. So thank you again. If you enjoy what you've seen, please feel free to give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe. And I will chat with you another time. Oh, and I should also mention Active Sky FS. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. If you're on the fence, just get it and try it. It's so cool. It's so cool. All right, but that's enough for me. So thank you again, and BelGeode signing out. Ciao.